Welcome to Cigars and Pairings. I'm Brian, and today we're getting into the CAO Mortal Coil. Quite a limited run. They only made 5,000 boxes, so grab some if you can. It's a very unique cigar. And it's got some really unique things going for it. This has got a Connecticut broadleaf wrapper and a Connecticut shade binder. And then the true uniqueness comes on the filler, which has got tobaccos from Honduras, Dominican Republic, and Nicaragua. So they use a technique in Dominican Republic called Andullo, and Andullo is a process of tying the tobacco in palm pods that they wrap really tightly to compress the tobacco and ferment it by hanging it up for 2 years or more. So I think that gives it some of the really unique flavors. I'm looking forward to showing you what we can pair with this today. So it's got a really nice smell of raisins, which is really kind of unique in most of the cigars I smoke, at least. It's kind of like a chocolate covered raisins. There's cocoa and raisins and kind of a dried cherries kind of smell. The foot gives off a little bit of pepper spice and cocoa powder. So I guess we'll just we'll get into this. All right, now a lot of people, I don't ever see a lot of people taste the end of the cigar, but I like to do that with my tongue. Put my tongue on the end, get it a little wet. Not everybody might like to do that, but I think it kind of brings out some of the flavor. You know, that's just me. So on this cold draw, I'm getting like a lot of bitter dark chocolate. Not that that's a bad thing. I like, you know, like 94% cocoa bar or something like that. A lot of earth, maybe some anise spice, and some pepper spice, definitely. All right, let's go ahead and toast it up. Now I've smoked a couple of these, and I've got to say, of all the cigars, and I'm a pretty seasoned cigar smoker, this one takes a lot of toasting. It's very tightly packed, but to get a really nice burn on it, I generally have to toast it for maybe, I don't know, 5 to 10 seconds longer than usual. So just a word to the wise. All right, here we go. On these first few puffs, that pepper spice is really there. And lots of earth. But man, is it a flavorful cigar. Now like I said, I smoked a couple of these. The spice does not last for long. It's kind of just the first couple of puffs that it just kind of kicks you up and makes you pay attention. It's nice. It's a good cigar. Get some if you can. I'm gonna take a retrohale real quick. Now that pepper spice turns into a nice cayenne pepper on the retrohale, and some roasted peanuts there. Not roasted peanuts that I'm getting in the taste, only on the retrohale. So I'm gonna smoke it down a little bit, and we'll see what the first third is going like. It's got some really unique flavor. There's like some blood orange bitters, and I don't know if anybody's had a blood orange, but it's got kind of, you know, a sweeter but more bitter taste than a regular orange. And, you know, maybe like a hint of raspberry in there. Bunch of dried fruit. dried plum, dried cherries, dried apricot. It's really a very fruity cigar in this third. The spice has kind of subsided completely to only the retrohale. I only get a little bit of cayenne pepper when I retrohale. But it's really tasty. And that's why it's going to be interesting to reveal some of these pairings. Which, why not? Let's get into it. The beer that I decided to pick that I liked best with this, I know is going to be a little hard to find for some people. It's a small craft kind of beer that I got at my local liquor store. But, so I decided to go with two just because one of them is a little bit more findable for some people out there. So my first choice, the more common one, is Samuel Smith Chocolate Stout. And this is going to go well with the nice cocoa flavors in there, chocolate covered raisins that you get. It's a nice taste with it. Goes well. Chocolatey. A sip before and then a little bit of that puff really gives you that chocolate covered raisins. It's nice. But anyway, enough of that, because that was just, you know, like I said, my second choice. My first choice is going to be Untitled Art Imperial Stout. It's chocolate raspberry stout. Like I said, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to find, but if you can find it, it's really bonkers how much these two things pair up. Now this is a really, really sweet stout. So a lot of people aren't going to have the palate for it because, you know, some people just don't like that sweetness in their alcohol that much. But my God, it really does complement the cigar very well. Really brings out that hint of raspberry and a lot of those dried fruits. Damn good stout. All right, I'm going to smoke this down a little bit more, and then we'll get into my third tier of pairing with this, and we'll talk a little bit more about the second third. So, cheers. So we're getting close to second third here, and I just figured we'll show the de-wrapping of the band, which is pretty interesting. Mortal Coil, it's got kind of a coil wrapper. A lot of people don't know how to pull this off. I've seen some reviews where people are like, how do I get this thing off? There's like a little tab up here at the top, and you just kind of pull it off and it comes right off. Coil. But it's nice. I like that copper on the black there, it really pops. So, well into the second third. A lot of those fruit notes have kind of dissipated. Definitely the blood orange is fallen into the background. Now we have kind of just, you know, some muted dark cherries. Definitely the dark chocolate is lingering. But now we're starting to get a lot more earth. It's kind of smoothed out to be kind of a musty earth with little bits of chocolate and a little bit of dark cherry. But still, amazingly flavorful cigar. That raspberry stout is getting to me. But now I think we're ready to get into my final third tier pairing, which is my favorite, the actual liquor, Probitas, which I think a lot of you will be surprised by, because I think most of the time I like to pair bourbon with cigars, but for this one's got a lot of really fruity notes, and Probitas kind of kicks that up and makes it really fruit punchy. For those of you who don't know about Probitas, this is the only white rum I'll drink. I've tried many, and this one is not a mixer. Almost all white rums are mixers. This one is totally able to be drunk neat. And like I said, it's got some great notes. It's like just a molasses bomb. Some grassy tropical notes in there too. It's really got an oily mouthfeel because of those pot stills that some of the rum has been distilled in. It goes hand in hand with pot stills, that oily mouthfeel. But it gives it a really chewy kind of molasses and kind of like a guava jam. I love it. And it really brings out a lot of the fruit notes in this cigar. So this is my top pairing. And I'll drink this all day long with this cigar. It's excellent. So go out and get yourself a bottle because it's wonderful stuff. Excellent. So I'm going to drink this bottle down and finish the cigar, and we'll see if I can do the finish. Well, here we are for the finish. So I've got to say, the flavors that mostly take over in this final third are powerful espresso and earth. You still get a little bit of a hint of chocolate, but a lot of the fruit notes have subsided. That's why Probitas is a really good pairing. It really keeps those fruit notes going, however muted they are, which I like. I find you don't get a lot of really fruity notes in a lot of the cigars that I smoke, so it's nice to have kind of a fruit punch kind of thing going with one cigar at least. Some cigars have one or two notes that you'll get some fruit in, dried fruit, dark fruits in particular with cigars, but this cigar is really unique. So like I said, if you get a chance to find the CAO Mortal Coil, get yourself a couple at least. You know, you don't have to get a box, but if you want to get a box, if fruit is your thing in a cigar, pounce on one of those boxes. And Probitas, check it out because it's a unique white rum. Well, thanks for joining me here today, and I hope that you enjoyed this pairing up of cigar and certain drinks that go along with it. And cheers to you.